Hi everyone, it's Wednesday and we are in Taurus. The app that I use on my phone is called Deluxe Moon, and that's how I see the moon predictions. It says we're going to be stationed there for 3 days until Friday, but sometimes that shifts at last minute, so I'm not really sure. But I know for at least the next 2 days, we're definitely going to be there, and then we're going to be moving into Gemini. So I did my homework and I did some research about Taurus energy and today's numerology. And so I would like to share that with you. So as I was saying, we're in Taurus, which is the bull. And Taurus is very interesting because I have been married to and have dated a lot of Tauruses in my life. And the energy seems really good for me, but it doesn't ever seem to work. So, I definitely look at that as, as my energy with Taurus. And then as I read about it more, I understand. And so Taurus is the sign of dependability, and it's a feminine sign. The element is earth, and I'm a Cancer, and my ruling planet is Earth. So I understand the connection of that sign with my energy now. So when we read and study the signs, we get to really understand about ourselves and our energy and the way we're receiving these activations based on what system we're in. And so, anyway, the ruling planet is Venus, which is the Roman goddess of beauty and the arts, pleasure, and emotions. And the dominant keyword is I have. When I did the video the other day when we were in Aries, the dominant keyword was I am. And so Taurus is I have, because it tends to be more of a materialistic sign versus the spiritual side, like the Scorpio. The polarity for Taurus is Scorpio, and the reason why they're conflicting is because Taurus is more of a materialistic sign and Scorpio is more of a spiritual sign. And so it was very interesting reading about that. And my moon is in Scorpio. And so that's another connection, a pull to the Taurus energy, maybe why, it doesn't work. There's that polarity there. And so we can pick mates based on that. And I'm starting to see, like it's pretty amazing. And so Taurus's lucky day is Friday, and the numbers are 6 and 4. The magical birthstone for Taurus is an emerald, and it protects against infidelity and deceit, and ensures loyalty and improves memory. So that's very interesting to learn about the emeralds. And so like today, if you happen to live somewhere where there's a lot of emeralds in the ground, it's going to be a stronger energy for you, because it's literally based on, the energy grid, literally all the crystals that are in the ground where we live. And the metal for Taurus is copper. So, I haven't dove into learning about the different metals based on the signs or any of that stuff yet. So that's definitely something I'm going to get into. If anyone has any information about, iron and copper and how it affects the body, please feel free to share that in the comments. And so Taurus is quiet, affectionate, patient, stable, determined, practical, stubborn, and resistant to change. And so those things tell us about the energy, like maybe it's quiet, self-loving, patient, stabilized energy. And so when we recognize the characteristics of the sign that we're in, that gateway, that energy that we're receiving, we can really gauge our own energy. And since we are in Taurus, and it can be stubborn and resistant to change, that means don't put your energy too much on change. Just let it flow. And so that's definitely what I'm getting out of this day for myself. So it's a lot of alignment. Taurus is one of the most ancient signs. It represents new life, growth, and riches. And the symbol for Venus is the bull, which is interesting because that's the symbol for Taurus also. And it's fertility, worship, growth, and regeneration. And then something I get a lot of my information off of forecasters.co.nz. I really like their predictions, so I use that to read through and feel. And it says that they certainly know their own mind, and as a fixed sign are patient and stand firm, but they don't stand their ground because of bullheadedness or stubbornness. And so we see that the Taurus doesn't stand its ground often. And so that means, again, not to place our energy onto one specific thing and just sort of flow today. And so I broke down the numerology of today. And today is the 24th, which is a 6. And when we break down today's date, it's 01611. So that's 2 zeros, 3 ones, and a 6, which is 9. And so when we go and we read about the numbers, we know that 0 is the number of amplification. So whatever number is associated with however many zeros, that's the number, the amount that has been amped. So 0 is very important in numerology. And we know that 1 is the universal alignment number. And we know that 3 is the number of ascended masters. And so 6 is Mother Earth energy, Gaia, which is the same element, Earth, of Taurus. And so it's cool to see that the date today is 24, which is 6, and its energy is alignment with the Taurus sign of the day. And so when we go and read about 9, which is the total number for the day, amplified by 2 zeros, 9 is the sign, the number of wisdom and intuition. It holds the path toward mystical knowledge. It's comfort of the soul. So that goes in line with what I was feeling about the Taurus energy. It's like just to get quiet and comfort the soul and love thyself and project that energy today while not butting heads, like the bull. We got to flow with it when we're in Taurus energy. It's a lot of love energy, but it's also, we have to not attach. And then so number 9 sees the imperfections of the world around them. Tendency to save the world. It can be hard to balance between the ideal world and reality because of it being so intuitive and wise that, we really have our eyes open to see the wisdom. So it's very interesting to go through all of that. And then I use cafeastrology.com to go and get my natal chart and things like that. And I started diving into their calendars that they have. And one that I printed out, they actually break down each day based on, I don't know if it's like I'm not really sure what all the symbols and everything mean. I know there's a lot of zodiac signs on here and they're positioned at different times of the day. So it's depending on the shift. I haven't learned all of this yet. So anyway, but I want to read to you about today's date. And it started at 8:41 Eastern time, and it says the next couple of days can be solid launching ground for anything you choose to embark upon, especially if it's down to earth to begin with, because we're in Taurus and it's number 9, and those, with a 6, and that's it. That's Gaia, Mother Earth energy. The time to be hasty and flighty has flown. The atmosphere favors practical beauty, the grace of being in touch with nature itself. Simplicity works. Traditional fare is ever elegant. And then at 3:48 p.m., it says stubborn, hard-headed, intractable. These might describe anyone you run across. We are in Taurus, which is the bull, which is stubborn energy. So that lets us see that, we can gauge other people's energy. I mean, literally, you can be like, well, they're feeling that Taurus energy, right? Like, seriously. And so it says that these might describe anyone you run across as the forcible pursuit of pet opinions seem to be the order of the day. It pays to make your point, but don't beat your head against a wall, and don't be a wall either. A powerful day for beginnings, but only if you're tireless down the road. And so we move on to 5:21 p.m. Eastern Time today, and it says uncertainty and shifting grounds can mark the day's outcomes, and confidence may retreat in the face of a challenge. Confrontation is the wrong game to play, but pulling out entirely is equally unsuitable. Make judicious compromise now, and the resulting situation will improve. But don't chase diminishing returns. And so, that can be on a financial aspect, or, with business or emotional or whatever. So it's really cool to see how all of this stuff lines up. And it's great to gauge the energies. So today is the day of not attaching, emotions to the shifts that are occurring, and just keeping it light and quiet and cool, and just letting it flow. Because we're going to be in Taurus for a few days. So I love you to the moon, family.